Hi there, I'm back, and with a new review of J. Cole's The Fall Off. This is an album that's actually been in the making for a very long time, around 7 years, I believe. I've never been a huge fan of Cole's stuff. I've never listened to any of their album fully. I've listened to a couple songs, but, I think he's above average all around. Fall Off is supposed to be his huge, long, send-off double album, split into two different parts, disc 29, disc 39. So because of the length, I'm gonna be discussing them separately as like full products rather than each track individually. 2-6 kind of sets up that disc 29 is Cole when he's younger. This is back 12 years ago in 2014, when he was aged 29, since the discs are named after the ages, Because of the time period it represents, a lot of the rapping and the writing feels a lot more like aggressive and juvenile, like it's Cole when he was trying to prove himself. The production feels pretty rudimentary, but I feel like that's kind of the point, considering this was him back when he was younger. He was just getting started. He'd only been in the game for like around 5 years, I believe. Definitely still enjoy a lot of the beats though. Take the voice samples off Poor Thing or the Latin strings off of The Let Out. Once Road Blues is maybe the only song that I'm not a huge fan of. A lot of the vocal effects, like the auto-tune and like the flows, all feel very off-kilter or very wonky. I also feel like maybe a couple of the tracks in the middle of the disc can kind of blend together a bit too much, sound too similar. It doesn't really earn the length, but overall I think disc 29 really comes together very well in the end. That's pretty much all I have to say about that, so we'll move on to 39. 39 overall feels much more mature, just because it represents Cole at a much later stage in his life. This disc starts off with The Fall Off is Inevitable, which to me shows that Cole by this point knew that his peak of popularity was kind of fading away, it was gone. But to me it doesn't seem like he's very salty about that, like a lot of people would. He's just accepted it. The beats on this side in general feel a lot more mellow and relaxed than on disc 29. There are exceptions though, such as Old Dog, which I find to be the hardest song on the album. It's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. The tracks on this disc in general kind of show that Cole has matured a lot, as I mentioned previously, and he's not yearning as much to be in the spotlight or to be seen. He's just kind of accepted where he is. The track I Love Her Again is one that I find to be weird, probably the weirdest on the whole album, on both sides. It's him talking about like his relationship with hip-hop, equating it to like a woman that he was in love with before and then they split off, but then he's back with her again. But a lot of the language he uses feels really like juvenile and weird, especially for the more mature tone of this side. As with disc 29, I feel like all the tracks in the middle of this side can kind of blend together too much, feel too similar. Even if there are standouts, I feel like it doesn't really warrant the amount of time that it takes up. But in the end, I think that the whole album, both discs, really come together into a very enjoyable experience. I think it's a great send-off for Cole, and I could definitely see it growing on me in the future. I'm thinking solid 7 out of 10. It's good. It's definitely a bit above average, but it's not incredible or anything. But yeah, that's about it. See you.